Ladies and gentlemen, we are receiving news that a meeting that was set to take place between the former President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, together with one DCP party leader and the former Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, has currently been called off. Now, many of you might be asking why Uhuru Kenyatta was to meet with Rigathi Gachagua. And why is Jubilee Party interested in joining hands with DCP? Let's get down to it. A post by one political analyst by one on platform X has caused jitters on social media. As Kenyans tend to try and understand the dynamics of the said meeting between the former president Uhuru Kenyatta and one Rigathi Gachagua. You know, currently we have been talking of an expected National Delegates Convention meeting of the of the Jubilee Party, that is expected to take place by the head of this month. In the said meeting, Uhuru Kenyatta is supposed to hand over the tools of leadership of the of the Jubilee Party to one former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i. But how will Matiang'i play his politics in the Mount Kenya region? Yet Matiang'i has not been crowned as a son of the mountain or endorsed as a son of the mountain publicly by Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, this is what is going to happen. Or let me say, this is what was supposed to happen. According to one political analyst, Pius Kenodia, he went ahead to allege that Uhuru Kenyatta has cancelled this planned meeting with Rigathi Gachagua. The said meeting was supposed to take place between tomorrow, which is on Monday, and Sunday of next week. Now, between this period, Uhuru Kenyatta was planning to meet with Rigathi Gachagua to discuss the way forward on the politics of the Mount Kenya region. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta still owns the cans as the Mount Kenya leader or the Mount Kenya kingpin since his appointment back in the year 2012 when he was crowned by the Kikuyu Council of Elders as the kingpin of the Mount Kenya region politics. Remember, even after leaving office, after serving his 10 years in power, Uhuru Kenyatta never handed over the tools of power as the kingpin of the Mount Kenya region to anybody. These tools were given to him by people like Akina late John Mishuki, the former cabinet secretary, and other leaders from the Mount Kenya region in the Limuru 2 meeting, which saw the birth of the Uhuru and Ruto alliance. Now, according to what we are seeing right now, all pointers in the Mount Kenya region point towards one kingpin, and that is Rigathi Gachagua. You cannot dispute the influence that Rigathi Gachagua has over the people of the Mount Kenya region right now. And so, Uhuru Kenyatta, looking at the dynamics and how they are playing out, he was meant to meet with Rigathi Gachagua to discuss the way forward and hand over the tools of leadership to Rigathi Gachagua. Now, handing over the tools of leadership to Rigathi Gachagua is supposed to happen before Uhuru Kenyatta holds the Jubilee National Delegates Convention. In the same Jubilee Delegates Convention, Uhuru is supposed to hand over the Jubilee Party leadership to Fred Matiang'i. Now, this is what Uhuru Kenyatta has been playing at all along. Gachagua has been so vocal, making it clear that he will be on the ballot box come the year 2027. Now, let's assume that Gachagua doesn't have a case and he is viable for the presidential candidature come the year 2027. Now, Gachagua has to have people on his side that really have some certain impact or influence when it comes to the politics of the Republic of Kenya. And a person that has he has been crowned and has been painted as a saint, and he speaks a different language from that of the Gema people. Now, let's say one thing: the Gema community, consisting of Gikuyu, Aembu, Ameru, and the Kamba people, are supposed to come together and pick one candidate. Now let's put that they pick Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, there is no difference between a Kikuyu, a Kamba, a Embu, or a Meru, or the Mbere people, or the Tharaka people. They are one. Their languages intertwine. Now let's look at them. If Rigathi Gachagua is to be picked as the presidential candidate, or Rigathi Gachagua is to pick Kalonzo Musyoka as the presidential candidate, they need Fred Matiang'i to come and fill the vacuum as the deputy presidential candidate. Because looking at other dynamics that are playing out, when it comes to the Mulembe Nation, there is one George Natembea. But George Natembea currently, there are external powers that are influencing his decision making, which are, I mean, we all look at and now can make a conclusion that theoretically George Natembea is compromised by President William Ruto. Now, getting back to this candidature, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta want to make sure that Gachagua and Fred Matiang'i are in the same team. They are going to work together. And that is why when the Jubilee party decided to withdraw their candidature from the Mbere by-election, Mbere North by-election, and that is why they decided to support who? They decided to support Justin Muturi's DP party candidate, Newton Karish. Now, that was the first sign of solidarity, even Rigathi Gachagua being the first leader in the opposition who withdrew his candidate. That made Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta see that the man is looking at the bigger picture and not I mean, he is not obsessed with taking it all. Because many had painted Rigathi Gachagua as a man that is so selfish to let anybody take a win from him. So Rigathi Gachagua withdrawing from the Mbere North, withdrawing his DCP party candidate Dan Kanboi from the Mbere North by-election, sent out a clear message to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And that is when a meeting was organized. But in the said meeting that was supposed to take place, it is being said that Uhuru Kenyatta has cancelled the meeting. But what are the factors that are influencing the cancellation of Uhuru Kenyatta's meeting with Rigathi Gachagua? Uhuru Kenyatta has been called and been informed by the government of the day led by William Ruto that the moment he meets and has a photo op with Rigathi Gachagua is the moment that all the candidates for Uhuru or the partners of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta that are currently serving under the Ruto's regime will be kicked out. Remember, last week we had a conversation that had been relayed out by some members of the UDA party calling for the expansion of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's cabinet secretaries that are currently serving within William Ruto's government. That is William Kabogo, Lee Kenyanjui, Mutai Kagwe, Mwangi Wairia, Deritu Mureithi. These are all people affiliated with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta that are currently serving in William Ruto's government. Now, if Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta meets with Rigathi Gachagua, that is a direct endorsement of the opposition. That means Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta will be in support of whatever the united opposition is making. And that cannot settle well with William Ruto. Because William Ruto still has this notion or still has this mentality that in a way, I can convince the Mount Kenya to come back to me. The Mount Kenya people to come back to me. I can still make the mountain love me. But if people like Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta joins hands with Rigathi Gachagua, who is the number one enemy to William Ruto right now, it means that William Ruto loses it completely. And so they have to make certain threats here and there to confirm to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta what is at stake if he meets with Rigathi Gachagua. But you know what? They can hold it for some time, but they cannot hold it forever. At the end of the day, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta will make what is best for him and his candidate Matiang'i, and that is joining hands with Rigathi Gachagua. That's what's up. Tell me what you think about the happenings or the said meeting that was supposed to take place between Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Leave a comment on the comment section. See you in our next video. Don't you forget to subscribe. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.